And welcome once again to Community Viewpoint. I am John Pawlak, your host for the evening. Maria's laid up sick. Hopefully you're watching the show, Maria. Are you out there? Okay. Hopefully you get that in where you're at. We're going to talk about planting today. We have Mark Hudson from Star Nursery, one of our wonderful nurseries in town. Well, we don't have that many nurseries anymore.
Not anymore since Art passed away.
Right. But one of our sponsors at the show here, Star Nurseries, they've been one of our wonderful sponsors for the last few months. And they're over at on 911 Buell. You'll see their acreage over there. How many acres do you have over there?
I believe there's about
7 acres.
including the rock yard.
Now, I noticed that little shade area, the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Did that come down, or did you take it down?
Oh no, it 5 inches of snow brought it down.
Okay, I was wondering why it came down, and you're in the process of putting it back up?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not leaving town, right?
No,
Okay.
the owner's made a commitment, and hopefully with enough community support, we'll go ahead and be out here.
So you're in the process of repairing that, and you're going to put the mesh back up there then?
Yeah, the shade material will be put back up. It's being repaired or replaced, and the owner has an idea on how to make it a little bit better. So we've welded everything back together, and hopefully within a week or so it'll be up.
Because you have this shade structures in Las Vegas too, at the
Mhm.
different
Yeah.
Star Nurseries over there.
They vary from wood to metal frame
Metal.
like this one, yeah.
Yeah. So we have that going on over there. That's being repaired. Let's see. So this is January. So what would the month be good for besides you were saying earlier the football games?
It's a great time to get the summer vegetable garden prepared.
And what are we talking about when we do that?
Working organic material into the soil. Steer manure is very popular out here. The compost of some sort, any kind of organic material that you can work in. If you have horses, goats, chickens, anything like that, you can work that their straw, their bedding into it.
Oh, okay.
If it's needing to be replaced.
And we had we donated that for one of our Earth Days at the Cooperative Extension. They have one of those composting barrels. Those are readily available. You can buy those online. But they have one if you want to find out how to make your own compost. They have one over on the site over there at Cooperative Extension at Calvada and Dandelion, where they bring it out every year for the Earth Day event. And this Earth Day event, the date will be April 23rd. Same place as we had it before. Ian Deutsch Park. Yeah, it used to be Honeysuckle. So we'll be having it there. It'll probably be from 10 o'clock to 4 p.m. And what we're looking at, since I'm on the subject Earth Day, we're looking at May 7th. Whatever that Saturday is going to be before Mother's Day is going to be the town cleanup. So we'll be promoting that in the coming weeks and months also. So we'll have a town-wide cleanup coming up May 7th, and the Earth Day event will be the 23rd. So before that, so you were talking about planting, and so turning over the soil, and you said you had one of the roughest things for me to do, and other folks over here too are raising tomatoes out here, but you said you had good luck with it, but you did a lot of, you amended the soil quite a bit too.
Yeah, I had a 3-foot root base. I dug down 2 feet, built a foot up with organic material, worked in blood meal, bone meal, various other fertilizers, anything organic I could get my hands on. Coffee grounds is really good.
Yes.
Worked all that into the soil, planted early, but then I protected the plants from a freeze and the wind. Hot caps, which are just basic foil paper, wax paper type of thing. And what I used was, personally, because I had kids at the time, I cut the bottom out of a milk jug, worked that into the soil, mounded a little dirt over it, popped the top off of it, gave it plenty of warmth. The soil kept it from blowing away, and about the time I had 2 to 3 inches of growth out of that neck, they were looking good.
Oh, okay.
Usually past the last freeze, yanked it off, and had flowers and fruit setting within a few days. And I do not believe in staking tomatoes.
Yeah, you're saying that they were just in mounds.
Yeah, just allow them to mound up. If they start getting off into areas where you don't want them, just push them right back in. And I had tomatoes setting at 110 degrees, and I know it sounds amazing because about 95 they stop, but the transpiration inside that plant, and it's shaded, it's humid, and the tomatoes were setting for me. I don't know what else to say about it. It was just, the conditions were right. And they were getting sun until 6 o'clock in the evening. But watering, most people tend to give way too little water way too often. And I believe in giving water, an enormous amount of water by many people's standards, and then just not doing it every day. So watering 1 to 3 times a day should not be necessary. But I say should not is not. Big difference.
You can give it too much water at certain times, and they would get like stretch marks and crack.
They will.
That's
cracking,
in the Midwest. I had that.
Yeah.
I don't know about out here.
Cracking is almost inevitable. It's
Is it?
going to happen. Early season, perfect tomatoes, as the heat comes on, I started getting cracks. I just cut that cracked material out, sliced it, whatever I was going to do with it, it was fine.
Okay. So, yeah, it takes a little work. You have to do a little amending of the soil, composting,
A lot
steer
of
manure.
amending out here.
Right. But you didn't have any shade over it then?
For those, I did not, from about 8 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. But I had like 5 garden beds. I do recommend, in most cases, morning sun, afternoon shade for vegetable gardens, whether it's shades from the house or from trees, doesn't matter, just so there's some relief. If you have a structure built up that you can put shade material, or you have the lattice work or something, slats, then that's ideal.
Excellent. Okay, if you have more questions, go over see Mark over at the Star Nursery. Oh, what are your hours over there?
8 to 4, and we are closed on Sunday still.
So I noticed at some neighbors, they had a lot of palm trees, and they were about 5 feet tall. And with that snow we had, it was sitting on top of the leaves. And after that left, they're all brown, and it looked like they're all dead. Are they?
Well, the leaves themselves are. The palm tree should not be. The best thing to do is not to water very often, not more than 1 day a week, unless we get another heavy rain. Don't do any fertilizing, don't do any pruning. Once you have anywhere from 3 to as many as 5 new sets of leaves, that's when you want to go ahead and start cutting the dead material off. And a palm tree properly pruned doesn't have that little rooster tail look that people want. They should have a full head of leaves coming down to about, if you were looking at the face of a clock, about 4 and 8.
Oh, okay.
Okay, anything below that can be cut off. But generally speaking, as long as it's green, keep it on.
Okay. So, yeah, they look really sick. They're all brown. There's not.
Ours are too.
Oh, yeah, over in front of the.
In front of the
Star
nursery, they look terrible.
Right, and then they'll come back by.
Don't anticipate much happening until sometime in April.
Okay.
You might see new growth before then, but it will be April to into May before you can even think about pruning those guys.
But you have the gardens, the vegetables on the side of the house that have the morning sun, which would be the east side, and possibly the northeast side too, which would have the least amount of direct sunlight. You'd have it in the morning, and then, like you said, either shade from trees, lattice work, or your home would protect it for the latter day sun.
Yeah, anything that breaks that up is a help.
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
So what are you going to have, what's the next types of plants and vegetation we could look for to go into and start planting in the next couple of months?
Well, actually, most trees and most shrubs you can plant anywhere from early October to May or June.
Okay.
The winter's actually the best time. Unlike where most people are from, where the soil freezes 3 feet, we don't have that issue here. Right now, you can plant fruit trees, roses, most of the evergreen shrubbery that's out there. Oleanders, I think we're a little too chilly for.
Yeah.
I know they're your favorite. But in things like bougainvillea and hibiscus, people ask for, really aren't well suited for this environment. We'll have some. If we don't have them, we can get them brought up from Vegas.
Right.
And that's not an issue.
Yeah, because the oleanders are poisonous, and I railed against them for many years, and I finally threw up my hands. I said everything else is dying or they're being eaten. So I planted those, and then they worked well for a couple of years, and one of my oleanders got munched on by probably the rabbits, so they'll even eat those, even though they're distasteful and poisonous in large amounts. Yeah, but the rabbits, if they're hungry enough, they'll eat them because they eat my cacti in the wintertime too.
Oh, yeah.
They'll take the poor ears. They look like they're all bit up.
Anything that can eat something like that and survive and enjoy it, you got to watch out for.
Yeah. So let's see. Oh, let's talk about, since we're here and I have the sign up there, the poster. Jeff, if you're, there they are, the dreaded salt cedar. I'm part of the Southern Nye County Conservation District, and what we are doing is trying to eradicate them through either in the Beatty area, or we have grant money to do that down here also. So we're hopefully we'll start doing that in the coming months down here also. We did some cutting and removal of the salt cedars and last year, and we have some garland, I think it is, some poisons put there. You had some. It was a stump remover, or you had something from Bayer?
Yeah, it was put out by Bayer. I don't know whether it's been discontinued by Bayer or just through our company. I'm going to try and get more in. It's called Brush Killer Plus. It was proved to be fairly effective. You can take the stuff and paint it right on a stump and straight, and it's probably the best way to kill them.
But you want to do it right after you cut it because they seal themselves. They're very self-preserving, and they're very territorial, and they drink a lot of the water 24/7, so that's not one of the best plants to have around.
Didn't you say one time that they took out, responsible for a foot a year out of the aquifer or thereabouts?
They drink 100 to 300 gallons of water per day.
Wow.
Mature plant, and Donna may have said that, but that's everything leads to removing water from the aquifer. If it's not us, it's what we plant over there. Those are noxious weeds. They're not allowed to be planted anymore, but
we do not sell them.
No, unfortunately, there were some government agencies that were selling them in the beginning because they were thought to be the best thing for windbreak because they grew so fast and they were so very hardy. But they're so hardy they emit a salty substance which keeps anything else from growing around the area also. So if you want something else to grow, when you remove these, you're going to have to amend the soil a little bit too. But people ask for them because they're so darn pretty.
They are pretty.
And they're even prettier when the people prune them, so it's hard to explain to people. But they are a noxious weed, and they do add to the removal of the water from our aquifer. So if you see those aren't. Don't ask for those by name. What else do we have? We want to talk about the different types of trees that we should be planting over here. Pines, what is it? The Afghan pine. It's called the
Mondale pine.
Mondale.
Come in, ask for the Afghan desert or Mondale. We'll know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. I will anyway. The ash trees. There's 3 varieties we have on hand right now, and another variety that we might be able to get in. The Arizona's the one that we're missing. But the Modesto, Fantex, and the Raywood ash all do real well here. The Raywood, I was told by a gentleman that used to work for Pahrump Nursery, he claims it is bulletproof. It'll grow in the hardest clay out here and do
that's
very
what?
well. The Raywood ash,
Okay.
yeah. Desert willow is good.
Mm-hmm.
Small tree, flowering. The jujube, which a lot of people have asked for, we should be getting in March, maybe. 2 varieties. And
Texas?
of the jujube, the Lee, and the Lang. Or are you talking about Texas umbrella?
Oh, that one was going to go next, but
Okay. The Texas umbrella is a beautiful tree. I'm terribly allergic to the flowers, but still think it's a wonderful tree. It is a messy tree.
Mhm.
Wherever you get a cluster of flowers, you get a cluster of berries.
Yeah,
They're
so-
about the size of a marble and toxic.
I'd pass on that one.
Yeah.
Look at somebody else's.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's down the street so you won't be allergic
Yeah.
to it.
When they get hard, frequently they just pass straight through like a pet. But there was a child in Vegas that his problem was related to. Luckily, they saved the child, from what I remember. But it is a problem, potential problem. You can use something to knock those flowers off. It's a growth regulator that you spray in the spring. And then, of course, the fruitless mulberry, very fast, large leaves. It is somewhat shallow rooted, though.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to grow anything under.
And there's issues with the allergies. With
Yeah, allergies. That's why it was banned in Clark County.
Mhm.
But out here we don't have that yet, so it's still a great tree. I'm allergic to it, but I work around them and have no problem with them.
And also let's see, what about cacti? Do you sell any cacti out there?
We started bringing some in. Right now we have a couple of strawberry hedgehog. I think 2 of those might be going out. Claret cup cactus, which appears to be rather cold hardy. It's also a little on the pricey side, for my way of thinking.
Mhm.
And the golden barrel cactus,
Ooh.
which is a real pretty one, but there again, it's like $30 for a 5-gallon, so you gotta want one.
And when we have M.L. Robinson out here, he brings his different cacti out here. And if you got a lot of time also, because they're very slow growing, right?
Some of them are, yeah.
And what's the best you can do with some of them? How many inches a year?
With a prickly pear, which is actually one of the edible varieties, I had that thing going from a single ear to about a 3 to 4 foot tall and wide cactus in about 3 years.
Really?
Yeah.
That's prickly pear?
Hmm.
And you have
It's
those-
also called Indian fig. We don't have those in yet.
Okay, but something that you might carry?
Hmm. That's
Okay.
when you can take and cut the pads and singe the spines off of,
Mhm.
cut them up and steam them like green beans, and you can also eat the fruit. Kind of like seedier pomegranate.
Wait, are those the flat?
Yeah, they're kind of flat and
That's why they grew so good by me. I got mine from Bonnie Brown from the China Ranch. She was thinning
yeah.
out hers, and they were just laying in a clump over there.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
all drying up.
Mhm.
I says, "Can I have those?" She says, "Yeah, they'll grow." I swear to God, almost every one of them I brought up here
Sure.
has grown, and yeah, they have matured and expanded a little bit too. So that's the prickly pear. The
yeah, it's called Indian fig.
Indian.
Is
fig.
the specific variety.
She's got the green thumb out there, so she knows what she's doing.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, if you're down at China Ranch, they usually have a lot of potted plants down there too, and so there's different varieties that Bonnie has the green thumb with a few stickers in them too. But yeah, so what else do you have going on over there? Do you have amending the soil? What should we do if we're planting here? Gypsum. What else? They were telling me put everything else.
We have 3 basic products
Sulfur?
we recommend. We used to recommend mulch, bone meal, sulfur. Now we have the pay dirt, which is a composted product specifically designed to be acidic to help counteract the alkalinity. Do not use it as a potting soil.
Okay.
The other is gold dust, and that takes the place of bone meal and sulfur. Plus, it has a few other things going on with it, trace elements, and some kelp is mixed in with it. Kelp is big out here. And then the Dr. Q's Plant Tonic, which is kind of like Super Thrive and B1 on steroids. B1 is very popular. It's a good product. There's nothing wrong with it. But I started using this Dr. Q's product when it first hit the market, and I haven't gone back.
Well, I've got, some years ago, I still have some gallons of the B1. How much should you put in there if you're...
A couple tablespoons. I like to go maybe a little heavy on it.
Oh, okay.
Some people go a little heavier.
Okay. You're not going to kill it, are you?
It would be hard to do. B1 is, if you look at it, it's mostly water.
Okay, yeah.
It has that vitamin smell. I personally believe it works, but there's a big controversy within the nursery industry, whether it does or not. I think it works fine. I think there's better products out there. Super Thrive is one. Dr. Q's Plant Tonic is another. But if you like, if you have good results with what you got, don't switch.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a big fan of gypsum, but people swear by it. By all means, if you like it, use it.
I still have some laying around in there. It's all clumped up, so whenever I plant anything, I just go for the little clump and just break it up a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
That works well.
Or if you have some old drywall, too. Some gypsum, too. Just not the
That's
Chinese
basically-
stuff that they
Yeah,
brought
not
over.
the Chinese
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. But, yeah, if you have some more questions, you can ask Mark over at Star Nursery, and they're open from 8 till 4, Monday through Saturday.
Yep.
And you'll be getting more things in the near future because
Yeah.
the weather is starting to get better. Are we looking for freezing yet?
Oh yeah,
Are we?
we froze last night. Average last freeze. Now I know we're not in Las Vegas, but the average last freeze in Vegas is March 15th.
Ooh.
Okay, so we get colder a little earlier. We're colder a little longer. So I don't figure our last freeze until first week of April maybe,
Okay.
and I might be overly cautious. But it is a good thing to protect those plants, at least from the wind, until sometime in May.
Yeah, because the winds will be coming up too in the spring
They
too.
were devastating last spring.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
So things to think about: the south side of the house, be planting pine trees over there.
I actually prefer pines on the north side
North side.
because they help block that winter wind.
Oh, the winter wind. Okay.
Then I like deciduous trees on the south side so that they go dormant in the winter and allow the sun to come through and warm the house in the wintertime.
What about the west side?
West side, northwest, evergreens like pines, southwest, deciduous.
Okay, I can live with that. Yeah. Of course, when I plant it, it all dies though.
Nah,
Yeah. But
we'll have to work on that.
I've run out of time here, but and we're running out of time too. We have a few more minutes. Let me get to this information here from the Cooperative Extension. They have a it's called a Nuts and Bolts Grant Writing Class. It's going to be offered Friday, February 4th, out here at the Calbata and Dandelion office. They'll be it's an all-day affair from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. It's an all-day workshop. If you're a non-profit, faith-based government agency or an individual seeking foundation, corporate, or government support, this is a workshop will help you succeed. Lunch is on your own. If you need some more information, you can notify or call Susan at 727-5532. A second workshop is going to be held on February 25th. It's an advanced grant writing class. Is the first one free? I know it says space is limited. Please register at 727-5532, and there's a $25 fee to cover the cost of materials. So you better ask them if that's for one class or both or whatever. Fees are collected at the door, so there may be a $25 charge for both the classes. Class is limited to 30 people, so Debbie said, who's in charge over there, and they're still taking reservations. They're supposed to be over with by the 21st, but today is the 24th, and she just gave me this today, so it's still good. So 727-5532 if you want to take a grant writing class, if you're a 501c3, or if you have, if you're a faith-based government agency or an individual seeking foundation, corporate, or government support. So that's what we rely on with the Southern Nye County Conservation District, looking for grants for the to removal of the salt cedar and things like that. So and they're harder to come by, so we have to be more creative in our grant writing. So remember, the nursery, the Star Nursery, is open from 8 to 4, Monday through Saturday. Do you have a phone number there? Do they ever call you there?
Yes, they do. 727-5300.
Okay. That's 911 Buell Avenue, Buell Street. And you're in the process of repairing your shade structure that kind of took a hit when the snows came. Did you lose any product?
No, actually, we had most of the product removed and moved to another location for protection from the cold winds prior to that.
Oh, you got lucked out then.
Yeah,
Okay.
so the only thing is I almost got caught under it, but that was okay. It missed me.
Well, you're here, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're in our last minute, so hopefully next week we'll have Maria back with us. And remember, tomorrow night, town board meeting. We'll see if we can beat the 5 hours from last meeting. So we'll see if we have another marathon, make the news. And I'd like to thank you for watching us. We repeat on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. So you can have a cup of coffee, turn the TV on, stay in bed, and see us. But anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jeff.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.